Hi, this is Shelby with the Rogers Public Library. So this week for Full Steam Ahead, I wanted to talk to you guys really quick about how cars work, right? So you probably know what cars are, right? You probably ride in a car every day with your parents and or to go to school. And cars are kind of an extension on a lot of older types of technology that have developed more recently. And by more recently, I mean since like the 1880s. So they're kind of old, but they're a lot newer than things like the wheel and axle, right? So wheel and axle, this is like thousands and thousands of years older. It's a simple machine, right? It's a circle attached to a smaller circle, and you can roll it around like this or like this. It's a little bit more fun, right? And it just it makes it easier to move things, right? You use less energy because you have to deal with less friction when you move stuff around, right? So wheels are what are used to build things like wagons and pottery wheels and carriages, right? Which is where the word car comes from, right? Car is just a shortened form of carriage. Right. And the other thing that cars used, at least originally, maybe not so much now, is what's called an internal combustion engine. So internal combustion engines are a type of heat engine. And the simplest type of heat engine is a turbine, right? So this is a turbine. It's a bunch of blades. And this turbine, I'm moving it with my hands or using my breath to put air. But what makes a heat engine is that it specifically uses hot air, right? Or it uses the temperature difference between hot air and cold air to create motion, right? So sometimes this motion is in the form of a turbine, right? It's circular motion that you can use to move things like wheels or filling machines or things like that, right? But the internal combustion engine is a little bit different. The first is that unlike a turbine, which is powered by heating up air outside of the engine, an internal combustion engine is powered by heating up air inside of the engine, right? And you do this by injecting gasoline, right? So it's really flammable stuff and setting on fire inside of a big, massive steel that weighs a couple hundred pounds to a couple thousand pounds, right? And it kind of looks like this. This is a cool book we have about car science, right? This is by Richard Hammond. This shows the process, right? You get air in, and then you put in a little bit of gasoline, and you set off a little spark, and that explodes, and it makes the engine turn, right? And the actual mechanism that makes the little explosion make the car move is called a crankshaft. And it works just like this, right? But reverse, right? So you have something that's moving back and forth just like this, and it turns, and it creates circular motion, right? Yeah. So this week, our craft is, I'm just going to show you guys these little cars I made, right? So this one is the first one I made. It's a little bit more complicated, mainly because I use glue, right? So you have wooden slats, right? They're hot glued to straws, and then I put little wooden skewers like this through the straws, and then I super glued everything together. So you can't disassemble this, but it's pretty cool. It rides pretty well, better than this one does. But that might just be because of the wheels that I used. I don't know how nice these wheels are, right? This one is a lot simpler, right? So I cut a piece of cardboard into a nice car shape, basically. And the way I have it is that, there's the ridges in the cardboard. And so I put those so that it was like perpendicular to the car itself, so that I can stick the wooden skewers through. Ta-da! And of course, so yeah, there's our little wooden car. Like I said, this one does not roll as well as this one. Although I think that has more to do with the wheels than with the design. But I could be wrong, right? So this is fun. We're going to have kits for you guys to pick up here at the library to make cars just like this. And of course, you can also use it to experiment, right? You can use different materials, different wheels, and even different numbers of wheels, right? You don't have to have 4, you could have 6 wheels or 8. And you can just see what works best, right? Yeah, so that's what I have for you guys this week. I hope you have fun, and I'll see you next Wednesday.